Hello, everyone. I'm super thrilled today on the new episode of SDJ Podcast. I have someone who wears a lot of feathers to her hat, a true fashionista, the founder and CEO of Rezon Silverware luxury brand, also the ex-vice president of marketing and communications for Dior India. And she's recently also been featured in the new season of Fabulous Lives with versus Bollywood Wives. So many things she's doing, and it's truly inspiring today having a candid chat with her and understanding a little bit on insights on her journey. How did she start? And now she's going places with all the things which she's doing. So, welcome, Kalyani. Truly amazing to have you with me in this episode. And to begin with, I want a little bit understand a little bit on your early life in brief. And a little bit about your venture, the Rezon luxury silverware brand.
Um, Thank you, Siddhant, firstly, for having me. This is such a pleasure with all our Calcutta connections, especially.
Yes.
Um, Thank you for that very generous introduction. I have done so many things in my life, even I'm confused right now.
Okay.
But it's been an amazing journey. I started my career with Oberoi Hotels in sales and marketing. Then I went on to exporting. Then I had my art gallery, Montage Arts, which I had for a very long time because my mother and I kind of built this way back it was in 98. So a
Okay.
long time.
Yeah.
And just all the galleries were kind of sprouting in Delhi. So it was a very interesting time. And then I was exporting fashion accessories. I art was always a part of my life, thanks to my parents, actually. So we used to have these art exhibitions. I was exporting to some of the best brands in the world. And then I got this amazing job with Dior, which was kind of life altering, actually. It was the best experience anyone could have asked for. I was so fortunate. And then I started Lulu and Sky, which I sold. It's an e-commerce brand. It was so much fun doing that. Um, and in between, I've done a lot of other stuff as
Yeah.
well. So it's an interesting CV, and everything. And today, of course, I have Rezon Luxury Silverware. That's my brand, which I make silverware basically for the home. It's a home decor brand,
Okay.
which is literally everything from thali sets to a caviar bowl, from candelabras and lampshades, I mean, table lamps. And I love interiors and I dabble a little bit in interiors as well. I haven't taken that really that seriously, but through Rezon, a lot of styling takes place. So I love to style. I like when people come in and say the house is ready.
Yeah.
And it's funny because nobody has a budget left to
Yeah.
accessorize. And I think, oh my God, we spend so much of money and itna mehenga. And all. I said, listen, your flooring is from Argentina, your your furniture is from Italy,
Yeah.
and you're cribbing about 50,000 rupees for a lamp. So this is so necessary. And I keep telling my clients because this is what a house makes a house into a home, the
Yeah.
accessorization, whether it's a little plant, whether it's a table, whether it's a book, but which book?
Yeah.
That is important. So it's been a very interesting journey. It's been a lot of fun, and I think I've been very fortunate for the opportunities that have come my way, a
Right.
lot of risks that I have taken. I mean, I remember when I left Oberoi Hotels, in between, I was working with four magazines
Okay.
from Indian Express. And this opportunity came to me with the four very diverse magazines, very, very diverse, no idea. So
Right.
this friend Manik Dabur, who was running Sterling newspapers as part of Indian Express, said that you can do it. I said, "What do you mean I can do it?"
Yeah.
He said, "You write so well." I said, "Me writing well a letter or an email is not equivalent to running for publications, tools for." But then I said, "You know what? Okay, I'll give it a shot." And I did. And I did a rather good job of it.
Right.
So, and So all these experiences, actually, Siddhant, by the time Dior happened, I think it was a culmination of all my experiences. I knew how magazines worked because I did marketing and communication. So a lot of, the whole exodus
Yeah,
of whether it was Condé Nast, Horse, everything came after Dior came in.
right,
So 2000, when the exodus of international brands coming in. I
right.
mean, Emporio, the first luxury mall that we had. I
Yeah,
mean, Pia Singh, whose baby Emporio was.
yeah,
I mean, we've sat and changed the geography around,
right,
the ground, for example. So, okay, this is, I said, no, 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 this is where Dior has to be. And this, so it was a lot of fun and what an enriching experience of something which now India is kind of booming with. So it makes me very happy. So, and then of course, Bollywood,
right.
uh, worked so closely with them. I think I should take the credit for turning all these lovely actresses
Yeah,
from the sari to the gown on
right,
the international platform. And it was a very, very exciting
right.
time, very exciting times, and where everything was new for everyone, you see. So we were willing to experiment. Now there's much more on offer, there's much more choice, there's much more. So gets a little bit more challenging, I would say, to kind of maneuver that sometimes. But and now I'm part of Bollywood. I can't believe it. So it's quite a kind of when you're on the outside and you're working
Yeah,
with Bollywood, it's a very different scenario when you're actually on the inside. And yeah, it's been a huge learning to begin with, which is always enriching, and I thump along into and thrive with kind of newness,
yeah,
and challenges. So yeah, I mean, it's been a huge I mean, again, this was another life-altering experience, being part of this amazing series, to even been asked, actually,
right.
I think I'm very fortunate to have been asked and to be part of it. And it was a crazy ride and a lot of fun, and whatever comes with it, but
Right,
I think 192 countries
right.
worldwide. I mean, it's insane. I mean, there are people from Sydney calling me like, "Are you actually single?" I said, "Yeah, I can shift. I'll move." It's like,
But to answer my next question, in fact, I was going to ask you also that you have been in the garment business as well. You've been exporting garments to say some of the
yeah.
biggest brands like Harrods and Zara.
Not garments. No, never garments. Fashion accessories.
Fashion accessories to brands like Harrods and Zara and so many
Yes,
other brands.
yes,
What was that
yes.
experience like, working with these kind of brands, is there certain way they work in terms of the working culture between
Yeah.
international and India, or are we very close to them in terms of the working styles now? What is your take on that?
This is it's an important question you've asked me. It's completely different. And that's why, I did my export and then kind of got this job with Dior. So I actually knew
Right.
the whole how the system works, which
Mhm.
really helped me because from manufacturing, how do you manufacture? Firstly, I was an exporter, so obviously I wasn't having shows and all that, but my inspiration, my entire mood board was always John Galliano's creations. Like, it was just one
Right.
of those things. He's like God for me, and that hasn't changed. And I was basically designing and manufacturing and exporting. So it started off with this Italian brand, and it was an inquiry that came from somebody I knew that we need 300 crochet bags. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. I had no idea how difficult this would be because, crochet, as beautiful as it is, there were these little kind of beach bags and it was actually quite stunning in multicolors and crochet, which I actually designed and I presented, and they said, "Yeah, we love it. Can you manufacture it?" I said, I'll manage." And I just come into Delhi and no idea idea what I was doing. And I said, okay. And it's very disorganized. It's women, basically at
Yeah.
that time it was even worse who do this crochet work. So it's not even an organized segment. Now it's of course different because if you're doing crochet work, it's within
Yeah.
manufacturing units, etc. And I remember really struggling with that, but I managed to do it. And I thought, okay, I love fashion, and fashion accessories is something that I personally, I love accessories. Like I'll go and pick up like fun stuff, like whether it's a headband or whether it's some funny thing to wear, around my neck or ankle or wherever. I mean, this is something I loved. So I said, let's do accessories. And I said, okay, chalo, this is now the over. And then I made these evening bags, which are really beautiful and all hand embroidered, handmade. And I just sent a presentation to Harrods. Now, how easy were things at that time? I just by
Mhm.
chance found an email of a buyer and I sent it. They saying, we love it. And they gave me an order. It was as easy as that. And I'm like, what? Like, okay, I'm doing something right. So
Yeah.
my first actual, like, apart from this Italian company that I worked with and who I continued working with later, Harrods was a big deal. So I
Yeah.
did evening bags for the evening section, but under the label of Harrods. So
Okay.
I was actually quite enthused, and that's how I got into this business of making fashion accessories. And I did leather bags, and then I had this amazing agent in New York, and I got amazing from Betsy Johnson, so fun, to Ralph Lauren.
Okay.
I made these beautiful belts for Ralph, these leather belts with little,
Mhm.
cross stitch kind of very, very cool and with this brass buckle. Then I made like really cool stuff. I made shoe uppers for Jimmy Choo, but Jimmy Choo himself, and
Right.
it went to some pretty cool celebrities. And then I, by chance again, wrote to Zara.
Okay.
And voila, I went, I met them with a massive suitcase of things. Oh my God, I don't even know how I did all this, Siddhant. I mean, literally on my own with two massive suitcases of about 150 samples,
Right.
uh, and my own clothes. I don't know what I was doing. And I did it on my own. I couldn't really take an assistant. I couldn't afford it. So
Right.
I went from country to country, and I had a little baby, being a single parent at that time. And it's like an out of body experience now when I even talk about it. I have no idea how I did it. I was in Paris, I remember, was meeting these agents. And when we were going down, I packed up everything. They, of course, helped me, these three very burly guys. And then they looked at me, they're saying, we're on the third floor, the lift is not working. How on earth did you come up? So, and I'm going, he's like, you're kidding me. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I've come to meet you. Like, I'm not going to ask you now to carry my bags. And she's like, are you kidding me? You carried all this to the third floor? And I was like, yep, I did. So, you just do what you have to do. And that's
But
always
I think,
been,
Kalyani, everything added to that is just your perseverance, the go-getting attitude, and, just your
yeah.
hard work, which has got you into places which you have to get full credit for. So, I also want to know a little bit, Kalyani, so recently you were in the series Bollywood Wives, Fabulous Lives versus Bollywood Wives. So what was that
Yes.
journey all about? Were there a lot of banters? Were there a lot of good friends that you made along the way? What was the whole experience like?
Of course. It's see the four Bombay girls. I was in season two. I made a little cameo. I don't know whether you noticed. So that was two years ago, right? Yeah, 2 years ago. So it was Chunky and Bhavna getting married. Chunky's been a friend of mine for a very, very long time.
Mhm.
I actually knew him before he got married to Bhavna. So he's been a good friend. So I made a little cameo and I thought it was so fun. And I was just kind of, oh, I want to be part of this. So next time you do the kind of next series that comes up, the next season rather, I want to be part of it. As I said, as a joke, and Anisha Beg, who I've known for a long time, she was a producer. She's actually kind of responsible. I think when they were thinking of the Delhi girls, I think one of the names that she insisted on was definitely mine. I'm so thankful for her to have recommended me. And I've known Karan over the years, with Bollywood, and he's been someone I've known over the years. We worked together, and etc. Dior days. And so yeah, and the three ladies, I mean the two other ladies in Delhi, I know all of them. I mean, we all knew each other, so it's not like I'm thrown into this kind of cesspool of strangers or people I don't know, and then you have to figure things out and make your own relationships. No, no, no. So we all knew each other
Okay.
from before. So some more than others,
Yeah.
maybe. So in Neelam, I've known for very many years.
Yeah.
Bhavna, I've known for many years. And Mahip and Seema, I've known, but I've known maybe Neelam and Bhavna better. But Seema is like, she's very cool. She's a really cool girl. And we always like funny stuff we send to each other on
In
Instagram. And
fact, the
when I was
fun,
watching,
in fact, the funny
yeah,
part is,
she's got a funny sense of humor,
no,
which
I
I
think in
completely
fact the funny and a small world it is because I'm from Bombay myself. I live in Cufpurate, same like where Seema lives, her mother's house. So I've
yeah.
seen them grow,
Right.
Seema, Bunty, all of
Right.
them together. So it's been a
They're
small
very
world.
sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
No, she's lovely. She's
yeah,
lovely.
and she's
And
very
we
candid. She's very candid
yeah.
as well, when she
She's
talks.
very candid.
Yeah,
No, and also I think when she says something, there's a lot of sincerity
right.
in when she speaks, which I like about her because she and I have also had kind of similar experiences, with life in general, our personal
Mhm.
lives, grown, with single parents, children, divorce, this, that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and I find her, she's a cool girl. I like her. Yeah, I like Seema a lot. Yeah.
So tell me something, if I see you probably 5 or 10 years down the line, where do I see Kalyani, her vision forward? What is there that you want to achieve? You must have set personal targets for yourself, personal goals for yourself. So what would that be? If I want to see, like, if I see you 10 years down the line, where do I see
Um, on a private island.
you?
I have this whole vision of cocktail. If you have seen the movie,
Yeah.
I want that shack. I want to have the coolest bar, serving the coolest cocktails, and living a life on the beach where all I have to worry about is waking up, seeing the sunrise, and serving the best cocktails, and having fun people around me, and just not having a worry in the world. It's like a fantasy. But honestly, 10 years down the line, I hope, yeah, I really do hope. I'm a beach bum. I really do hope that I'm on a beach somewhere, whether it's a shack or a whatever, it doesn't matter. But that's my plan. But or the other one is probably getting a little Haveli in Jaipur because
Yeah.
that's kind of a calling I think I have. I love that city. And I know there's this pull that I have
Mm.
to Jaipur, like it's a long relationship I have with that city. So maybe either of the two, I'd be happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me something, a lot of women entrepreneurs, you've been such a successful entrepreneur yourself. So a lot of women entrepreneurs, when they start their journey, what are the kind of attributes one must have, because we see, a lot of women entrepreneurs are really making a name, trying to make a mark for themselves. So what are the kind of attributes or that kind of passion you think they should have, to go for whatever they desire, in terms of their entrepreneurial journey?
Uh, there's no real formula because everyone's journey is their own,
Yeah.
everyone's circumstances are their own. I have done so many things in my life because I got the opportunities, but also there were risks involved in taking up those opportunities. Now, I have taken those risks that came with the opportunities, and it all worked out for me. But sometimes it may not.
Mhm.
My only message to every woman would be that, firstly, I'm in my 50s, and there's so many of my friends who have kind of postponed their passion, postponed their interest, or postponed wanting to do something with their life because, oh, my kids are in school. Acha, now let them grow up. Oh, now, they're in college. Acha, but my daughter's going to come back. Then I have to get her married. And I'm like, what about you? Half your life is gone. What about you? What have you done? And there are friends of mine who were such amazing scholars. They were such amazing achievers, in school, in college, they've done their masters. What are they doing? They're like, oh, there's nothing wrong, let me tell you, being a housewife, because that's, I think, a 24-hour job, looking
Mhm.
after your family,
Yeah.
looking after your children. And that's kind of it's just it's our society, the way we live, and people are happy doing that. And zero zeros and a lot of respect actually for housewives, because I sometimes feel that's like the hardest job in the
Yeah.
world, running a family and trying to appease everybody. And in the, there are different dynamics, whether it's with in-laws or with their own families or children, husband, total respect. But when you really do want to do something, go and do it. Just, I keep saying this over and over again. It may be that you're good in baking. Start baking a few things and ask your friends to buy, and those 500,000 rupees is probably the most precious 500 or 1,000 rupees you will earn. That when you earn something, it doesn't matter who your husband is, who your father is, who your father-in-law is. Financial independence for us women is our only superpower.
Yeah.
Only superpower. And I cannot stress on this more. I wouldn't have survived if I wasn't financially independent. I won't have been able to do anything in my life. Of course, I had my parents, my father's always bailing me out, but you won't believe this, Siddharth, if I tell you. I made so many mistakes in my life, didn't listen to my parents, bad choices, wrong choices. It doesn't matter. I have borrowed money from my father. The first time I took 5 lakhs from him and I needed for my business many years ago, and I gave it back to him in 3 months. I sent a check back.
Oh,
My
wow.
father was furious. He was very upset. He said, what is this?
Mm.
I mean, you're returning money to me? I say, yeah, dad, without the interest. But, so he wasn't
Right.
amused. And,
Mm.
I tried to explain to him, I said, I, I am very privileged. I'm privileged to know that you're always there. There are many people who will never have this privilege, but I know you're going to be there. But this is something that let me do. If I had to borrow money from the bank, I would have had to pay interest. So, I mean, anyway, he was like, typical Bengali uh, gentleman. He was very upset. But I think he respected me. And I have borrowed money and I said, I need it. And he's saying, oh, yeah, but when are you going to give it back? And I'm like, oh, so no. So, parents I have that privilege and comfort of knowing that that help is always there. But I've tried to do things on my own, and that because I think this is also a lesson which Tahira, my daughter, has learned.
Mm.
I do not give her money. She wanted to stay back in London. I said, darling, I've educated you, and because of which I'm broke, because she went to one of the most expensive schools, and it's really, really, really expensive. But that she's my only investment, and her education for me was primary importance. It definitely was paramount. And I don't help her financially one bit. I take her for holidays, yes, but I don't pay her. And she's surviving, and she has that value for money, and
Mm.
how she needs to earn is so embedded in her that it's frightening sometimes for me. I'm like, Tyra, it's okay, like, let me pay for this. And she's saying, no, I don't need it. So, these are, see, values and things come from practice
Yeah.
and from observations of, I think this is one thing I tell everybody, that you can't just, this is something that is instilled from a very young age. And you have to also walk the talk.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't just lecture your kids.
Yeah.
You can't. This upbringing is everything, and upbringing shows, and I think it's super important. So
Mm.
for women, it's never too late. This is my only message is, one is it's never too late. Two, when you're young, it's fine to experiment. Now,
Yeah.
if you think you want to become a doctor and you've studied medicine and then you're like, dude, this is just not for me. It's not for me. I love painting, and maybe that's my passion, or photography, and I want to do wildlife photography and travel around and do wildlife photography. If you have the privilege of experimenting and jumping from one thing to the other when you're young, it's the
Mhm.
time to do it,
Right.
because that's how you find your calling, and then something will resonate. And we have sometimes, I think girls get under the pressure of what you're meant to do, how you're meant to
Yeah.
be, from parents more than
Yeah.
anything else. And this message to parents, let them be. You don't have to, marriage. And I live in a society where all these young girls, I think they're all like the only kind of, I mean, there is a section, not like,
Yeah.
not say my daughter,
Yeah.
or a lot of her friends, because that's marriage is way off the charts right
Yeah.
now. But there is a societal pressure
Yeah.
after you're a certain age.
Yeah.
You're almost abnormal if you're not married. I mean, it's crazy, the kind of pressure these young girls have. But I think the younger generation today, younger girls, they know what they want. I think they are pretty focused on doing something. And I think the boys today also realize that they also want a wife who has something to say for themselves.
Yeah.
Those days are gone where you're just wanting your wife to be barefoot
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's a very uneducated way to look at it. And I think the girls today, they've been well educated. They're going to Ivy League colleges. They're coming back. They all want you to do something. And sure, they get married, but their husbands are quite enthused about them kind of working, doing something, investing in a business. So I think times are
Times
changing.
have changed. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, times are yeah, I mean, but everyone has their own journey, own circumstances, and it's always for us women, no matter what you say, no matter sometimes how educated families are and how well traveled and how modern they seem to be, there is that traditional pressure that women do go through. I know for a fact
Okay.
that they do. Lot of my friends. I mean, it's shocking the kind of families, but they just can't work. Why? Why do you need to work?
Mhm.
That's the ethos, which is kind of sad. Yeah.
Okay, so now it comes to my fun rapid fire round, just to know you more personally. So these are going to be quick answers from you. So the
Yeah.
first one would be, what is your favorite destination to unwind?
Jaipur,
Okay, your favorite cuisine?
Bengali,
Okay,
Bengali food. Nothing like bog food.
okay.
Mache chul and bhat.
What is it that you've never dared to do and you want to try and do it?
Seriously, you obviously don't know enough about me then. I have dared go to places which nobody has and nobody wants to. But I want to get over a lot of fears. I have a fear of height. I mean, so I learned how to dive, for example. I mean, not well, but I've done it. I did it because I was very scared. I was just scared of the water because I almost drowned twice when I was a kid. And I want to I want to go paragliding, for example, or jump off a plane and do whatever they do. But yeah, those are things that I want to get over my fears. So I think I want to do that for sure.
Your favorite genre of music, which really soothes you down on a stressful day.
Anything which has a beat, I
Okay.
think. Anything I can dance to.
Okay.
My generation, the 80s music, I mean, it was the best, late 70s, 80s.
I think the
I mean,
old
also
school, we're talking about the old school. We all love
old
old school.
school, retro,
Yeah.
retro. I'm
Yeah.
very retro.
Me
But
too.
then at the same time, I love Sufi music, for example. I mean, it's just so beautiful.
Right.
When I put on music, and music is a very big part of my life, I like the beat. I
Right.
want to be like in the morning, I put on music, and actually I put on a lot of chants in the morning. Like I listen to maybe Guruji's job, or I like that to be in the morning. It
Right.
kind of soothes me down and prepares me for the day. In
Okay.
the evening when I get home, it's, I think, yeah. But I mean, yeah, I like my retro music actually
A,
a
a,
lot.
a motto which you stand by.
Oh, never give in, never give up.
Okay. Your current favorite read, which book lately you've been reading which you really love? Loving it.
I'm reading Jhumpa Lahiri's books again. I
Okay.
mean, she is just so, I just found Namesake, and I
Okay.
have all of her books. I'm obsessed with her because I think I relate to her. And someday when I do write my book, and which I've been trying to for the last 8 years, when I do finish it, I think I'm so inspired by her. I just love the way her language has that whole, I mean, her Bengaliness, which she hasn't lost, being she left for New York ages ago. But the way she understands a Bengali woman, I think nobody else does. And I love her storytelling. So I've just picked up his, yeah, I picked up Namesake, and I'm rereading it. And I've never done that, read a book twice, but it's really cool. Yeah, I mean, I love it. It's
Okay, tell me something. So, out of all the people in the season of Bollywood Vibes and Fabulous Lives, if you had to share a secret with someone out of all of them, you think that they would, keep it with them and not spill it out, who would that be?
I don't have any secrets, Siddhant. My life is an open book now. I'm on a reality show. What do you think I can possibly be hiding? I mean, no chance. I have no secrets. I really am. What you see is what you get.
Okay.
And think I'm also very misunderstood because I think people have a very different idea about me. Many a time I've gone to a conversation with someone I've known in Delhi for so long. We meet at parties and suddenly, I mean, we just chance upon and we have a conversation. And it's always, my God, Kalyani, you are so different from what I thought you were. You're so nice. And I'm like, mm. So what did you think? Not nice. No, but also apparently I give that whole unapproachable kind of attitude, which is absolutely not true. I think I'm very friendly and nice, but I guess I have some sort of a personality trait which kind of keeps people away from me, including men. So that's kind of sad. Whatever. Yeah.
And tell me one
Yeah.
thing, like today, if I don't know if you're got a sweet tooth or not, but if you do have a sweet tooth, what would be your guilty pleasure?
Oh, Mishti Doi and Gur Ka Sandesh.
Okay. So
Nolin Guresh Sandesh.
I think
Yes.
that is one of
Yeah,
my
yeah.
favorites
Gur.
as well. Knowledge is Calcutta, especially, it's amazing.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
something,
I can be on any diet and killing
yeah.
myself, but you put these two things in front of me and that's it. Basta.
Yeah.
I'm just like going to finish that for sure.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, that comes to the end of the episode. Thank you so much, Kalyani. It was such a lovely chat with you, hearing insights of your journey, your whole entrepreneur journey, and so many things that you're doing. I just want to wish you all the best for all your future endeavors. And it's been such a pleasure and hope to see you soon whenever you're in Calcutta. So we must
Yes, of
definitely
course.
connect. We must definitely connect and probably go out for a drink. So I look forward to seeing you on the other
Of
side
course.
very soon.
Thank you so much. I mean, Calcutta is home. So, yes, I will see you in Calcutta very soon.
So,
Thank you so much, Khan, for having me. All
and
the
again,
best.
wishing you all the very best for everything you do. You've been fab.
Thank,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you. Fabulous,
Yeah,
fabulous,
thank
fabulous.
you.